Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC, and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you would like to get an awesome new PC you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so back here again tonight after the relatively simple repair today. You never know what they are when they come in. The customer was asking me, he's like, "Oh, how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost?" I'm like, "Man, I don't know what's wrong with it. It could be something really simple, which it was, or it could be like, oh, you know, your motherboard's dead, so we've got to take that out." And yeah, no, it was all good. Like, I don't know. Like, I think maybe it was just a bit dusty. Possibly. Sometimes that can cause problems.
Maybe something was like the RAM wasn't quite sitting right. It was like maybe
it was just one stick, and he reckons he hasn't touched it. Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, stranger things have happened. Hey Nick, how you going? Good to have you here. All right, so we've got a gaming PC build tonight. So after last night wasn't really a gaming PC. It's a bit of a shame we weren't running both of them because yeah, like this morning before I packed it up to get it shipped off, I had both the graphics cards because I actually have this thing. Do you know why I couldn't find it? It was downstairs. So I was able to connect directly to those graphics cards. So what I was able to do was I was able to run them in SLI, and I was able to get like 100 frames a second in the heaven benchmark out of them. So that's all right. That's all right. They're not designed for gaming. The customer's not using it for gaming.
Hey Nick.
And David's here. Yes, this is David's build, so he'll be very excited. So David's here. Well, we may as well get stuck into it. So David pretty much knows what he's bought. So he's got himself the Ryzen 5600G. We've got the MSI B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi motherboard. So this has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So you don't have to worry about any dongles or any other cards or anything like that with this motherboard. Got our RTX 3060 Ti here. We have a 7200 RPM 2TB WD Blue hard drive down there. We've got 32 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance RGB RS 3200 MHz CL16 memory. We've also got a, where is it? A Seagate Barracuda 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD. We have a Cooler Master Master Watt 750 watt power supply here, 80 plus bronze with the 5-year warranty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wants to know, is it okay that I bought a driver updater program? I asked this earlier, but you probably missed it.
Oh yeah, if you asked during the live earlier, when I'm on my own, it's really hard to check comments and stuff like that.
I don't remember that one, but is that okay?
Oh, it depends what it is, whether it's really necessary. That's the only thing. So some of them are like basically malware. Some of them are okay, but then realistically, I don't personally use them myself. So yeah, I don't. So they're not something that I recommend. If I don't use something myself, or I don't feel I need it, yeah, I don't recommend it because it's hard for me. Because if anything happens, then they're like, oh, but you recommended it, sort of thing. So it's hard for me to endorse things. If I endorse something, it's got to be pretty solid. I've got to be pretty confident that it's good. So.
Something that you actually use. If you don't use it, you don't really know.
Yeah.
Like Bitdefender, you'd probably recommend that because you actually use it.
Yeah, I could recommend Bitdefender. Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't think I've ever heard of
Driver Easy. I've heard of Driver Easy. Don't have any thoughts on it. Haven't used it. It's just one of those other utilities, man. Like, I mean, this is the thing. You got Windows Update that is already checking for the majority of your driver updates. You've probably got some sort of utility from your motherboard manufacturer, whether it's Armory Crate, MSI Dragon Center, App Center from Gigabyte, or App Shop from ASRock. You'll probably have some sort of utility like that that will actually go through and update all of your system devices for you. And that'll get it all from the manufacturer's website. So like that's generally as far as I recommend people go with driver updates and stuff like that. Intel have a pretty good utility. I install that on most Intel systems that I build. Yeah, so I can recommend that. That works very, very well. Like, it is that is so idiot proof. Like, it's really good, really good. So I can recommend that one. But like I said, you know, my hands are tied as to what I can recommend, what I will recommend, etc., etc. But I know that Driver Easy isn't like it's not malware as such. So like you've paid for it, so alrighty. So like I said, we've got our 5600G here, our 2TB SSD hard drive. The main thing I want to talk about is this. This is Cooler Master's new version of the ML360. So this one looks quite nice. Sorry. Yeah, but it's just that thin plastic. It should just break apart. So this is basically a revised, like a new version of an existing line. So I'm very excited. Oh, it's like mainly a cosmetic refresh, and I think it's got a new
fans or something maybe, or
yeah. The fans are part of what's new. It's also got a new. Pretty sure it's a new.
See, they've got like a double ring on them.
Yeah, and the cooler block's different as well.
Oh, the whole thing seems to.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's just a nicer. It's just a refreshed, cosmetically refreshed version of the ML360 that you're familiar with. So that's quite nice. I'll be excited to see what that's like. I think they were bragging about a new pump or a new pump design or something like that on this unit. So it'll be interesting to see just how well it keeps this 5600G cool. Not that it's a very hot running CPU, but I would say this will keep it nice and toasty. And yeah, it does look really nice with those ring fans there as well. They'll look quite nice mounted to the top there, because we'll see the rings on the side. So yeah, I thought it was really, really good, and like considering it was like $23 more than the other one, I was like, yeah, definitely. That's definitely $23 better than the other one.
Yeah, I really like that cooler block.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of excited.
I want to see what it can do.
Hurry up.
So, all right. Well, let's start by having a look at this motherboard. Yeah, we've covered.
Like Old Faithful.
we've definitely covered this board a couple of times before. I think did we not do this one last night?
I think so. Or now I'm kind of second guessing.
I'm really thinking I did this one last night because of the horizontally orientated USB 3.
I'm not digging that.
No,
Anyway.
it wasn't. No,
it
it
wasn't.
wasn't. No, I remember it clearly. It's a very similar board to this. It's its big brother. It's its ATX brother.
Fair enough.
So that's what we've got here. So this is a smaller version here. So we've got the 8-pin CPU power connector. We've
Want
got
a
a.
drink?
No, I'm all right.
Oh, okay.
I'm all right.
I thought you were starting to cough.
No, I wasn't coughing.
Oh.
I was just sort of. I don't know. I was just sort of laughing then. It just...
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked in my own mind here. So we've got our AM4 socket here. We've got a CPU fan header up here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 RAM slots here. So the thing is with these, you've got 4 slots, but you've got 2 channels. So with our memory here, we've got 4 DIMMs. So we've got 4 slots. So it's really easy to think about our RAM configuration. All we have to do is put all 4 sticks in the slots. Very, very easy. But if we only had 2, we would want to be using this slot here and this slot here first, and then we would use the other 2 slots. And so the reason is these 2 slots here are 2 different channels. So the CPU can communicate with both channels at the same time. So that is preferable than having 2 of them next to each other in the one channel and leaving a channel completely free. And so we've got a sneaky 5-volt RGB header up here, these 3 pins. So that's what I really like seeing on this motherboard, because you can keep all that RGB mess out of the way. We've got another couple of fan headers here. One is designated as a pump fan header, which is convenient, and if we use that fan header, it's always an extra step in BIOS, so make sure that we put the pump onto DC mode, because we really don't want the pump going up and down in speed. We just want it to run at a nice constant speed. It's better for the longevity of the pump. Over here we've got these 4 little LED lights that come on. These are the postcode, like what they call Easy Debug LED. That's what MSI calls them anyway. And this will just give you 4 little lights that will tell you what's wrong if your computer's not turning on properly. Won't tell you everything because it's just 4 lights, but it will point you in the right direction. And we've got our 24-pin ATX power here, the main power for the motherboard. We have another fan header over here. We have a USB Type-C front panel connection. We've got 4 SATAs in the horizontal position, plus a USB 3 in the horizontal position. Down the bottom here we have another 5-volt RGB header. Then we've got this RGB switch, so if you just wanted to turn all the RGB lighting off, say you've got, I don't know, say you've got like a really, really conservative uncle coming over and you thought you'd better turn the lights off, you could just turn the switch off there and you don't even have to change any of your settings. So that could be handy. You've got this fan header here, sorry, not a fan header, this header here, this is for your front panel connection, so your power button, reset button, and little LED lights on the case. This one here is the diagnostic fan speaker header. Keep calling them fan headers, what's going on? So we've got these ones over here, 2 USB 2.0s. We have a COM port header, various debug pins. Got another fan header here, so that's a total of 5. Then we've got 2 RGB headers here, these are 12-volt RGB. And then we've got our front panel audio connections for our speaker and microphone jack on the case. And then over here at the back, these little gold capacitors here and all this hardware that we see around here, this is all the audio stuff. It's like having a sound card just baked into the back of your motherboard there. And we've got our audio jacks here for our rear I/O, as close as possible to the rest of the audio hardware on the board. Audio, being an electrical signal, is subject to interference from other systems, so they try to keep it isolated and down in this corner. That's why you always see the audio stuff in the same spot on every motherboard design. So around the back here, obviously we've got our Wi-Fi. So this is just a PCIe card. It's actually sort of sharing this slot here. Would you believe? So this it's coming in like you've got a PCIe connector here for that card. See there's just a little tiny Wi-Fi card plugged in there. And you probably recognise it. Little card there. So that's plugged in, and it's just plugged into what is essentially a PCIe X1 interface there, and it's wired in through the same one that this M2 slot is, and that is essentially the first PCIe channel here, that main M2 slot, and also this one up here. Sorry about that. That's a private joke. Alright, so we've got our Ethernet at the back here, 4 USB 3s, 2 USB 2.0s, we've got our PS2 port there, we've got a HDMI, DisplayPort and VGA. They can be used for this in this build, but if we want to get use of our graphics card, we need to plug in through the graphics card. So the CPU does have onboard graphics in this case, so you could run an extra screen from these ports here, and it wouldn't impact your graphics card's performance, but it would obviously have a bit of an impact on the CPU. So that's something for you to think about. Some people like having onboard graphics on their CPU so they can run like a stats screen or whatever. Or a display that's dedicated to Windows while they're gaming, and they can run that without it like taking away from their graphics card's 3D rendering capabilities. So, and then all I've got is just this stuff in the middle here. So we've got this main M2 slot here, we've got another M2 slot down here, we have our trusted platform module header here for the little security chip for Windows 11. We have our PCIe X16 slot, 2 little X1 slots, and obviously our chipset under this heatsink here. Alrighty, and that is the main features here on this motherboard. Yes. We got some other comments coming through here. Hey Jared, how you going? Good to have you here. I think that's 4 minutes ago. He might not even be here anymore.
I
Huh?
don't like being interrupted when you're talking about your motherboard.
No. I lose my train of thought. Alrighty. So here's our AMD CPU, our Ryzen 5600G.
It says he's still here, mate.
He's still here? Oh, cool. So yes. So Friday is the big day. We finally get to play with some actual new architecture from Intel. Ah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff on a motherboard, and like a lot of people sort of gloss over some of the features there, but you know, I think it's important to know what your board has and what your board doesn't have, if you know what I mean. Alrighty, so what we'll do here, since this one's a Gen 3 SSD, we might leave that top slot available in case David wants to add a Gen 4 SSD at some stage. This one will be slightly obscured by the graphics card when it's in place. So if we put this one in here, because it's not going to make any difference to the speed, then in 12 months time or whatever, he wants a Gen 4 SSD or wants to add more storage, even if it's not Gen 4, he can use that top slot and you won't have to take the graphics card out. Yeah.
Just want to say a huge thanks for the build, mate. It's been copying
Oh.
12 hours plus a day.
Oh, mate, she loves it. She loves it. They love it. I sort of joke with people sometimes. It's kind of a joke. It's kind of serious as well. Like, your computer's probably going to last longer if you leave it on 24/7 compared to turning it on and off all the time.
Yeah.
Like, just like a car going from hot to cold,
Like,
hot to cold, hot to
my
cold, hot
mum's
to cold, hot to
computer,
cold.
She just leaves it on constantly. It
Yeah.
does not turn off unless
We
she's
always buy
literally in
low-end
hospital.
hardware. We buy low-end hardware because she doesn't do anything.
No,
She just
no,
goes.
She just watches like TV on.
She watches TV on the internet. That's it.
Tim?
Yeah.
Peter says hi to you both in the chat. Hey Peter.
Hey Peter, how you going? Alright, so let's put our memory in. It's looking like a kit of Corsair Dominator 5200 megahertz CL38 DDR5 memory is going to be about the $550 mark for a 32 gigabyte kit.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous.
So it's gonna be expensive.
Mm-hmm. But what's the point of like upgrading to that, right?
That's
Seriously?
that's what I'm sort of curious about. Like those timings don't sound too good.
No.
Like I know more than most, but is there something I'm missing here? Like CL38, like yeah, I get it. A faster speed, higher latency. It makes I get that part like technically, but you know, it goes in the face of what we see with memory performance, like in this generation, where you know if the latency can be as low as possible, there is definite performance boost there. I guess it depends on the application and what you're doing with the memory. Fundamentally,
Tim?
yeah,
Nick says he has his computer on 24/7.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. That's
probably actually better.
it's
for
probably
it.
best case
Stays at a
scenario.
constant temperature. It's not getting hot, cold, hot, cold.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're
And some things they don't like being like, you know, turned off for a week and then turned on and then turned off for another couple of weeks and turned on.
no, but it's like I said, it's with technology, it's sort of like cars.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because for the most part with computers, there's no moving parts other than the fans, right? Or if you've got a liquid cooler, you'll have a pump. So those parts wear out. Obviously, the longer they run, the more revolutions they make. They're rated for a certain amount of revolutions. Yeah, once that ticks out, then they start to break down. But memory, CPU, for the most part, power supplies, like yeah, they do have a fan in them when they get hot. But if a power supply has a smart fan, then it won't even turn on unless it needs to. So in the case of a power supply, other than that, there's no moving parts in there. So anything that doesn't have any moving parts, it's only really getting stressed out when it's changing temperature. So if it stays at as much of a constant temperature as possible, in general, it's going to last longer than if it's been constantly hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold.
Nick says some days I even fall asleep with games open, so it's cooking all night long.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe you shouldn't be
Yeah, maybe not not
Like,
that
if
much
it's on,
load.
you know, it's on idle, or like you've
I
got
just mean
internet
like
stuff
power's
open.
running through the circuitry and it's just sitting there at like an idle temp.
Yeah.
Like that's fine.
Say someone like my mum watching her stuff.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's just like, yeah,
That's like idle temperatures.
yeah, yeah. It's not doing anything intensive running.
No, I guess it's just like, you know.
The most intensive thing it does is like a Windows update or something.
Or maybe sometimes she plays solitaire on the computer.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I installed Solitaire, didn't I?
Yeah, so nice and tasty up there. And Gary says, "Oh, in Pilbara, I think it stays hot, whether I turn it off or not."
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing in the Pilbara. Oh man.
Yeah, it was nice and tasty when we decided to drive through.
Yeah, we drove through there in spring,
Yeah.
which is kind of.
We ended up with it by the time we moved WA anyway, so
Yeah, but we got that in Northern Territory. And we only had it mild.
I don't want that.
No. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely a updated cooler block.
There's a scratch on it. There's not a hair.
No, that's just a mark.
Oh, gee.
That's nothing. It's not a scratch. And anyway, any scratches to the bottom of the plate doesn't really
It gets
matter.
filled with.
Yeah, you're filling any grooves with thermal compound. Alright, so what have we got here? We have... Oh yeah, we've got the easy brackets. So all we need to do is put these brackets on the cooler. We just need the little screws that go with them. All the rest of this stuff.
They changed the way you put the brackets on.
Oh, there's just... I can't remember what the standard is for Cooler Master coolers. Here we go. These 4 little bolts. So they attach to these arms. These are solid pieces. And they go on there. And tightened out. Yeah. Hey mate, how you going? Okay. Just like, which way do these go? So I don't want to be up to my old tricks. My favourite trick is when I put the arms on the CPU cooler around the wrong way. That's always good.
wrong way.
That's definitely the wrong way. It's the right way, but it's the wrong way. I told you it was a new cooler. I'm still not looking at the instructions. These are just
The
like,
instructions.
yeah, well,
It's for lamos.
it's not for lamos. It's,
I know.
But if I need to look at the instructions, it's to look at like one thing. So the whole thing, I've got to read through the whole thing to see one thing. It's quicker if I just pull the stuff out and see what I see. Okay.
And John's got the plastic off.
Yeah. Don't forget
I've already
that.
done that.
What we got there?
Control.
A very basic Cooler Master controller. We're going a bit more basic on the controller and spend a bit more money on everything else. I like it.
Can I have one?
Oh, but we've got thermal tape connectors. Like they're all right. Oh, but they give us this much better cable for it. How much better is that? Yeah, come on, Thermaltake. Yeah, start shipping these.
Tim's more excited now.
Yeah, I like this. How many is that? Oh, it's just 4. Yeah. Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's fine. It's gonna do us justice. Excellent. So, this will be positioned roughly like this. Just make sure that get my fans going the right way. I'm actually going to start connecting these to this other one at the same time, because it's just going to be easier to treat it as one thing. Because once I get this in place, this is really short cables. I don't want to have to plug those in at the back when it's up there and the motherboard's in. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that'll be a pain in the ass.
Yes. Alright, so out of the rest of this crap, what do I need? I need them. And I will need them. Well, we got a fan splitter. Yeah, we use the fan splitter. What do we got? controller stuff. Got some cool master gel. Yeah, we'll use some master gel. Be careful, this is thinner grade than the Arctic silver. It's not going to matter. No, that's right. You should be practicing doing these.
Yes, I've never put an AMD cooler on before.
So watch me do it a bit closely tonight so you can see what goes on. So got these.
It's not over the...
That's better.
I haven't done it before. I'm like doing it wrong.
So you just got to make
They're
sure.
more easier than the Intel ones. But it's just more fiddly. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this is definitely more fiddly for a lot of people. Yep, let that go. And so the only trick is make sure that you tighten them down evenly and make sure that they stay.
They look like it's on an angle.
Yeah, they will be on an angle, like this way.
Mm.
Yeah, that's fine. But you just want to make sure that this piece that has the hole in it stays completely flush up against the side there. See where the lip is?
That side seems like it's hard.
Yeah, it is. It hasn't been tightened as much. And you'll feel a point of resistance. That'll actually be pretty hard for you. It might get a torque wrench for you for that. But putting these fans in is nice and easy because they've got bolts that you can do up with your fingers.
Yay! That's handy. Just tighten them up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
they've
they'll
had
think of you when they put these bolts in.
they had these bolts on the other version of this cooler.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like cutting edge new.
Oh.
It's just new. Alrighty, so we've got our cooler on the board there. We've got everything sort of all ready to go, so we might turn our attention now to the case.
Is there another RGB fan going on back?
No, we don't have another
Alright.
RGB fan. We
Just
can
chuck one in.
we can chuck one on there. They're only
Be a
$20.
nice person.
Be a nice person. How do I make money? I'm not made of RGB fans.
How much are you selling them for?
They're 20. They're 20. Jesus. Yeah.
Jared Prince. Also, no, sorry guys, in this case, this is.
Oh,
isn't it,
this
though?
this is the same. This is the same case as last night. This is the Antec D600 Flux. So
It's a favourite of ours.
yeah, well, what's not to love from a technical point of view?
It's so good. It's got 3 addressable RGB fans on the front of it. It's got really good airflow. It's got another fan on the back. It's got heaps of room. What else has it got going for it? It's got ventilation on the back.
Yeah, basically, if this sits in people's budgets and they tell me that they don't really have too much of a case preference, but they wouldn't mind something with a little bit of light and a clear side panel, this is what I suggest to them. Or if someone's like, I want just a really good, high performance, high airflow case, this is what I recommend to them. Or it's a Leon Lee or something like that, which is obviously
A bit different.
another really good way to go.
Right.
But if you're looking at cases for under 120 Australian dollars, that aren't complete piles of shit, that have good features like a 6-device RGB and fan controller pre-installed into the back of the case there, you can use these little pins here. It says RGB on them. You can actually just use that as a reset button. And so because we've got addressable headers on this motherboard, we're going to hook this controller up to the headers. So it's going to be controlled with software, so we won't worry about the button that's marked LED on the case. That will just be a reset button. So really, really simple stuff there. Or you can use it as, you could use that reset switch on those 2 pins there if you wanted to control the controller with the button on the front of the case there. So we'll leave all them together there. We've got a couple of cables here. These are for our motherboard and to the power supply. So the addressable cable for the fan and RGB there. And we've got all of these cable ties unnecessarily tying up these cables. And I'm going to untie them and retie these in an appropriate way. I always joke that with this case, and whoever's working at Antec, they got told that they have one job to tie up the cables, and they tie up the cables. You know, all these cables.
Let's try and get more frequency.
Is he really? So, instead of all of that mess that we saw there, I have a much better way of doing this. Got them there. There we go. One nice, simple thing from a big, messy pile of shit. I heard the funniest thing the other day.
Oh my god.
I was at an IGA, right? And I'm just at the at the counter with my groceries, like lining up at the checkout. And there's like, you know, there's all the point of sale stuff, all the case stackers and display bins from all the companies and stuff at the front of the store there and all that. And there's like an Allen's Lollies one, and they've got all these like little like emoji type things of food and stuff, and one of them's like this little brown chocolate cupcake. Anyway, this little girl and her mum are queuing up, and little girl's playing around on the floor and, you know, just being a 4-year-old kid. And then she sees the little brown chocolate cupcake and she just yells out, top of her lungs through the store. She goes, "Mummy, Mummy, poo!" Like really excited. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't make this shit up. Me and this girl behind the counter just
Oh, how embarrassing.
"Mummy, Mummy, poo!" It's like so excited. I don't know.
Kids do.
I don't know if she's excited about the poo or she's excited because she recognised something as poo.
Probably the fact that she recognised it as poo. It's like, oh, look at this, poo. I don't know.
But yes, Mummy, Mummy,
Oh.
poo.
Parent
That was,
horrors.
yeah, mum was mortified, eh?
Fucking hell.
She's like, it like yells it out like through the store, like echoes through the store. Alrighty. So this is a semi-modular unit, this one. definitely need this one. And we will definitely need this one. But the rest of these, I think we might tie these up somewhere in our case out the back here, out of the way. So we'll leave them for now. And we'll install our power supply. So these ones here are excellent value. You're getting 5 years warranty and 750 watts for just over $100. I think they're $115 or so. So a lot of people get confused with power supplies with the 80 plus rating. People think that it's like a guide to quality and stuff. Buddy would love that. Alrighty. Well, we're looking pretty good. We might actually start getting our motherboard in the case and all that good stuff. We install our reverse fan. I reckon we install our reverse fan. What do you reckon? Okay, I was using these bolts. So this case, you can obviously fit 2 fans down here. It fits a total of 9 120mm fans. So 3 at the front, 3 at the top, 2 at the bottom, and 1 at the back. Oh, what am I doing? Grabbing the complete wrong bolt. And so this fan will draw cool air in from out the back, and it's going to blow that directly onto our graphics card. So we'll keep it nice and cool. I'm gonna have to stick these. Yeah.
The solitaire was working in place and it collapsed. And one of his labs ran ahead to grab the attention of another walker while the other one laid next to him.
Good boys.
The rest of us are just like, oh, we've like trained the dogs to do exactly this. We hardly ever see them do this off their own, like, cool, this is awesome kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a black lab and golden retriever. Black lab ran after the person from the golden retriever just laid down next to the area.
Oh, nice.
He had like some sort of heart condition going on.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Well, dogs can pick up on like things going wrong with you, even if you're not trained. I've heard of that sort of thing going
Yeah.
on before.
Yeah. Dogs are smart, man. Yeah. Dogs are really smart. Okay. Alright, we've got all of our cableage sorted out the back. So, I need to get some more stuff out of this box. Such as the IO shield, Wi-Fi antennas, SATA cables, Go Faster badge. I don't need the CD-ROM. Okay, so before we do anything, we're going to plug in our CPU power up the top here, because that's always a really painful one to get in place. And go ahead and plug in this 5-volt RGB header just up there. And we can go ahead and plug our pump directly into the designated pump fan header. Doesn't really matter, you can use another header if you want. It's just a case of keeping it labelled within the system. Okay, so this is for our fan controller. Just like that. So we've only got one device free on that controller. So we're going to use, where was it? I had a fan splitter. Actually, so we're going to plug in this splitter over there. Okay. Oh, no. I just realised we haven't populated the CPU fan header. What? Well, is the front meant to fall off them? Okay. Alright, there we go. Yeah.
I noticed there are two antenna that's strong Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and motherboard. Are these both the same antenna?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. It's technically two antennas. Antenna 1 and antenna 2. The Wi-Fi card itself has two antennas. One is like designated main, and the other one's designated auxiliary. So, in my experience, it doesn't matter which one you have plugged in. I guess it's just having an extra antenna helps if there's interference or something. Okay, so we've got those top screws in. We'll leave the others for now. Hey babe, can you help with this part, please? Big sigh. Big fucking sigh.
No, I was tagging Danny on this. That is fucking hilarious. But you won't think it's funny. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not.
Doesn't fit.
Oh, it fits.
It's done.
Let's go. Those bolts. Alright, just a second. I'm gonna take this fan out here. Or at least I'm going to drop it down. I think I should be able to just drop it down.
Jairus is just wondering, so I don't have any from my PC, was wondering about the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connections are very weak unless things were close to the PC.
Oh, are you missing an antenna?
Tim, did you fuck up?
Oh, possibly. I can send you an antenna. What?
Ah!
I'm sorry, man. That was not my
I'll
intention.
make sure Tim sent it express.
Yeah, we can do that. Alright, take two. Said it fits. Oh. Totally the wrong bag of screws. Okay. And now I can raise that back fan up.
Tim, Japanese says you're no antenna for either. Oh, you suck, Tim.
Oh, I suck. You got like an Aorus motherboard, don't you?
Do you have a...
What brand motherboard do you have? Because I got lots of spare stuff. What brand motherboard do you have? I think I got a spare Gigabyte one. It's a good one.
It's all good, no stress. Internet is hardwired to the computer and through that cable. I just wanted to check if there are parts needed. Would love to sort out. Great, thanks.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Yeah, just let me know what your motherboard is, and yeah,
You're so
I'll get onto it.
Tim. No, you have so much shit going on. It's just you doing all this.
It's not. It's certainly not my intention to forget anyone's, parts.
MSI.
MSI.
MPG.
Okay, yeah. Well,
B550 gaming edge.
B550 gaming edge Wi-Fi. Oh, okay.
ATX.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've got something. I'll send it off to you. It'll be. Yeah, this is one for a gigabyte. I'll send you this one.
It's
got a-
MSI though.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, don't.
Because this isn't MSI technology or Gigabyte technology. This is Intel's technology.
They all fit the same thing pretty
Yeah.
much.
And it's magnetic.
Yay!
So yeah, just send me a reminder, because I'll forget, but it's not me intentionally trying to dog you. So send me a reminder with your address, and I'll mail it off tomorrow, hopefully.
Well, give it to me and I can mail it before when I finish work.
No, I've got to go to the post office tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, I guess. You could just send it off the PC.
Mm-hmm. So no, that's my bad, man. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, if you had said, oh, was I meant to get antennas for the Wi-Fi, I would have gone, oh, yes. If you don't have them, that's not normal.
Jared says, never thought you were a man. You're awesome. I will recommend you enough.
Ah, cheers, man. All right. Okay, so got one cable here for the pump, and I've got all of that RGB connected, and then we've got these 3 fans, and I've plugged in this splitter. Why don't we split it? I want to split it.
You can't eat a stapler.
Want to split it?
Don't know what that is. Watch more Family Guy.
Yeah. Alright, so we've got a few cables to run behind the board here, because we've got a micro ATX board in an ATX case.
Is the graphics card going to cover up the M2 drive?
Yeah. Partially. You might see a little bit at the bottom, but that's about it. Alright. Yeah.
Jared says he'll send you a message on Messenger.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, mate. Then yep, I'll get that sent off to you. And yeah, anyone else, if you're missing something like that, let me know.
Jesus.
I
I don't like how that's not even. You can't move it. I just tried that. No.
I'm pretty sure that comes out.
No, don't do that. I don't think it does.
Why would it be uneven then? Yeah. Yeah, I just moved it. I just moved it.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, I moved it too far now.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that whole panel comes out. It's all good. You've got plenty of time to play around with that. Oh no, you didn't bend anything. There we go. You got to be very careful when you plug in those USB 3.0 cables. very delicate pins. So I don't like to use many zip ties and stuff out the back. I like to try to leave things just loose. Because then if there's any problem with anything, or if a fan dies or something like that, you don't have to cut out a million cable ties. That's why they give us this room here for cable management, so you don't have to like freaking, you know, go to town on it. So we should be looking pretty good. I've got these front panel connections to wire up. There's our HDLD and reset switch. There we go. So that's looking all nice around the front there. Some solder cables, I'm just going to plug them in. So solder there for later, and we'll plug that last solder in. We'll plug that last solder in when we're ready. So now we've just got our motherboard power. Pre-bend that around the way we want it. Yep.
Jason's moved to PC, so it wasn't work. Oh, but I was missing everything on blood seeing pebbles, sorry. It's alright,
Oh.
too, don't worry. You should have messaged Tim earlier. It's all good. We'll sort you out.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Yes, that can go down there. That's looking pretty good. So I've got all the cables that I wanted to route behind the board in place, so we can go ahead and screw up the rest of the screws. Oh,
Tim?
yeah.
Okay, this on YouTube says, quick question. Is this slightly wobbly lower intake fan case for alarm? The cause for alarm, I should say. I was going to ask you this through Facebook, but I thought it was such a small question and I didn't want to clog up your page.
There's no like small questions that'll clog up the page. You're free to ask away any questions that you might have. So a wobbly fan like on the case or something like that, I'm assuming.
Wobbly blower intake fan.
Yeah, I'm assuming on the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to really be a big deal. It might impact the airflow through your case.
Maybe the life of the fan might be less if it's a little bit wobbly.
Yeah. I want to rotate this block 180 degrees. I don't like how tight the cables are.
Yeah.
And I could just put that on upside down. And that would probably look a lot better.
On the GPU, Tim, wobbly fan.
Oh, on the GPU.
That's probably.
That's a little bit more concerning. Is it just how bad is it?
Can you notice the sound from it, or is it just? Because if you can notice the sound from it, that's pretty bad. How old is it? That's another question. What kind of GPU do you have? Our GPU sounds like my 980 Ti.
So, just to clarify, we're talking about a regular graphics card, not a blower card.
You just said blower card, blower GPU.
Blower GPU
Yes.
with a loose blower fan.
Wobbly blower, yes.
Ugh.
That's probably really bad.
That's
yes.
pretty there. That's getting. We're escalating the level of severity here.
I think it's time to get a new GPU.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, you could try to repair the fan, work out what's broken, repair it.
Maybe you could replace the fan, but is it really worth it though?
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. All right, how much better does that look?
Yes. I do kind of want to know like what graphics card this is though. 1060, 980.
Yeah, how old is it? What card is it?
2060. I don't know.
Wouldn't be a 2060. It'd have to be like being a blower. It'd have to be like a Founders Edition, or maybe one of the Gigabyte turbos. Normally just the Founders that are the blowers. Older ones anyway. So this is the 3060 Ti Mini, which is the high performance small form factor card from yeah. So ASUS rate these as like a 4-star on their little scale of GPUs. So it's actually not a bad little card. Because if you've got it runs as good as like an Asus Tough Gaming with the 3 fans and all that. Like it really, because this is one of those things where it comes down to binning. So when they make the GPUs, they go and test them and stuff like that. So they need to have some small form factor cards that actually perform like really well, because not everyone wants to build a PC in a case like this. Some people want to have a really small form factor one, and so this is the kind of card that you can take that back.
You can talk about it while I do this.
Yeah.
How about that? Christine wants to peel a sticky. I'm sorry.
She's a little kid. She's like 30 something, right?
I'm 31. Thank you very much. 30 something.
I didn't think you wanted your age called out.
I look younger than what I am, so I don't care.
Oh, okay. Is that how it is?
Yes, it is. Because every time I go to a bottle, I always get asked for ID.
Yeah. I'm reading it. I've read it. Does it overheat? That would be my question, man. Like, is it getting up over 80 degrees and stuff? Is it behaving problematically? But really good cooling solution on it, etc., etc. Those heat pipes. Yeah.
Did you see the last one? They're taking coil wine.
FYI, there is no loud teaking or coil whine.
Which does confuse me to the actual severity of the GPU fan.
Yeah. Well, man, my advice would be, if you feel up to it, see if you can repair the fan. It might just be a loose bolt or something like that you could fix. Alternatively, well, you've got a card that needs a new cooling solution, basically. So yeah. That's a fun position to be in. Sometimes people just, if they're in that situation, they're just like, oh, stuff it, I'm gonna buy like a water block and put it on water. if the cooler's fucked. But if it's inside warranty, man, you just take it back for repair or replacement. Like, graphics cards should have 3-year warranties. Pretty much everywhere.
Say it's not even a year old, so it's
but that doesn't.
RTX 2070 Super Turbo lower tile.
Okay, so we've got one final cable to connect, and we'll probably just run it. No, I want to keep it nice and clean at the bottom. this extra, I should say, outlet. Okay. I'm just going to put one final cable tie. There we go. So that is one nice, clean looking rig. Alrighty, now we just see if she works. Yeah.
So the temp increase is very minor from 3 to 4 degrees, and we have the MSI custom fan curve on it all times. But when I try to run a demanding game, the custom fan curve cuts out when it reaches 44. Also, I'm trying to keep this short so I don't want to distract you on your job.
No, that's
all
alright.
good,
No, that's
don't
alright.
worry.
That's alright.
The more questions,
So
just keeps Tim, like, you know, talking.
yeah, it keeps me talking. I ran out of things to say. Like, I
Indeed.
forget. You know, I don't know what everyone else doesn't know about a subject.
No.
Something that might seem obvious to me is
Tim
something.
thinks like everyone knows everything about PCs, and we really don't. The smallest thing.
I forget.
and
I
it's
forget.
like,
I
no,
forget.
I don't know that.
See, I'm like, oh, I'm not a computer hardware engineer working for like Intel. Like, so, you know, I don't know everything. That's how I see. That's how I see myself. But in actual fact, I know all this shit that regular people don't know. But to me, it feels like I don't really know much. But that's just, yeah, that's just because I have a good understanding of how much there is to know. So, Google the Dunning-Kruger effect. Very interesting read if you don't know what that is. You'll see evidence of that in our society all the time. Speaking of this adapter, I'm going to use it right now. Okay, are we ready? Oop. What's going on here? Power switch, yes. Yeah, I got that configured right.
Ah, that'll do it. They'll do it every time.
Motherboard cable was like not all the way in on one side. Alrighty. So it looks like we are posting. However, we don't have any RGB lighting. Is that because... Okay, that's 1, 2.
Yourself a wrong phone. Even though I've had such a bad experience, I'm sure you won't have the same experience as me. It's so good. I can't wait for my replacement. Or at least fix my phone. Not a replacement. Bastards. When did I get it?
I'll leave it on that. Okay, so we might start things off with a BIOS update.
His eyes off my nose.
go. Alrighty. Yeah, just give her a second. Yeah, no, the back fan's not RGB. We can upgrade it, but so what is going wrong? Okay. Okay, so we're back for a little bit. So realistically, we just have this RGB issue. So when I press and hold on this, now it wants to play ball. Okay. Well, I'll put it back up the top then. And so just oh wait, that's changed back. We go into Mystic Light. This should be right.
Yeah. They will sync something.
No, for some reason, it wasn't lighting up like just with a default color. No, like by default it should be on like rainbow, right? See? Now it's on the actual like sequence that it's meant to be. So like if I change it, so if I change it to steady, it'll go to the red mode. Yeah, it's good, eh?
I really like that.
I'm
It's really satisfying. Like the one on mine, it's got like a ring around it. I've always. Can they make some white, please? I'll
Yeah.
pay money.
Yeah, I know you will. Alright, so that's the RGB sorted. So we're just going to activate our XMP profile and then we can go and see what this thing's capable of. Oh, I was too freaking quick. Well, I was too slow. It was too quick. Get your words out right. Okay. Let's put a glass panel on it. And now let's restart it and actually catch it. Okay, so we've got a couple of things to do in here. We're going to activate XMP Profile 1, and we're going to set up our fans. Yeah, no worries, man. Alrighty, so we're running the pump DC. System 1 we run on pulse width modulation, and we'll make sure that's staying nice and low while the temperature's
So quiet.
There we go. Now it's nice and quiet in here. They'll still ramp up when they're needed. Huh?
You're only making noises my PC.
Yeah, but how many fans have you got in yours?
A lot.
8 plus 2 on the graphics card, and a kind of noisy pump.
Doesn't make too much noise now, for some reason.
Because of what I did to it. We put it in the ultimate optimal position. Okay. Oh, it's definitely doing something. It like dropped right down.
I hope it's doing something.
There's our 6-core 12-thread CPU, and we've got our main graphics card, and like I said, we do have a onboard GPU that is part of the CPU there, so it won't be being used at the moment, obviously. Just using our 3060 Ti. There we go. Won't worry about submit and compare. I don't have time. I'm limited time on the mic at the moment. Yeah, it'll be. It's gonna die. Okay. Alright, so we'll open up Crystal Disk Info so we can see our 2 terabyte 7200 RPM hard drive is there, and also our Seagate Barracuda NVMe SSD. Both have been powered on only 3 times. And we'll have to skip the speed bench test for our SSD. We will move on to these benchmarks. Ooh, what's going on here?
Tim,
Okay. Yeah.
can I Fans, fan curve cutting out all my GPU reaches for Celsius.
That doesn't sound right. Well, I'm having MSI afterburner problems right now. Let's do a fresh install. There we go. So we're going to select our correct graphics, start with Windows. Alright, so MSI fan curve. So we want to I normally set it about 60 to 80 and low 70s at 100. Alright, set up the on-screen display. There we go. So now we can run Heaven on the out-of-the-box settings. Let's actually make it so you can see it.
I think this is going to be one of my favorite bench mods. Test things.
Heaven.
Test things. Oh my god.
You haven't had a glass of wine or anything. Just take the friendly jab. You get so defensive. I'm not trying to offend you.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's kind of the shit thing. If you end up with a problem like that, I mean, if you bought it new, I would just take it back and be like, hey, problem with it, can you fix it? Send it back to the authorized repairers. They'll get it done under warranty. If not, then I guess if there's no warranty and it's at your own risk, then it's really up to you which way you go. But you know, you could take it to someone and they could change the cooler for you. They could put a different cooler on it, either a replacement, which would be like with a new fan and stuff like that. they could put another type of cooler on there. Yeah. Yeah, why not? If you're in a situation where you had a graphics card that had a damaged cooler and it was not under warranty, that's, yeah, I'd maybe
If
do
I
that.
really wanted to keep that 980 Ti,
Yeah, but not a 980 Ti. He's got a 2070 Super, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. 2070 Super, that's got to be pretty similar to what we got running here. It wouldn't be quite as high as this, but yeah, it's not having any problems running this. No worries, have a good one. Hopefully I'll catch you Friday for the 12th gen launch. We'll be playing around with new motherboards and CPUs, so it'll be good fun. So we're getting to the end of it now. So Valley we run on Ultra, max anti-aliasing. I said something. That's weird. I swear we installed that. Like, I'm pretty sure I had a desktop icon, even. I think it forced a restart or something. There's definitely nothing else I missed there. Got Epic, got all the gaming clients, GeForce Experience. Yeah. Definitely all up to date here, I'm sure. Okay, so we can now do our 4K benchmark. Okay, still got a little bit of mic left for the end of the night. Okay. Oh. So we need Cinebench and we need Furmark. So run that with a bit of extra homework. And now for Cinebench. So we're going to set this up for a 90-minute run. Alrighty, so there's our CPU there, our 5600G with Radeon graphics, and there's the 12 threads of the CPU, these 12 boxes working on drawing this image. And essentially what we're doing here is we're rendering a video while we're running a 3D game. So we're running the graphics card at 100%, CPU at 100%. We do this for 90 minutes and we log the temperatures here in hardware monitor. Make sure nothing's overheating. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll hang around just for a little bit longer, just in case anyone's got any other final questions for me, but I don't have long before the mic will die again. So So tomorrow night we're going to be building a 5950X rig, video photo editing rig. Well, it's looking like that might be it for the night. So, look, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.